I'm going to officially say this episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. Our mission is to uplift, inspire, share stories and experience and perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, helping other people every single day. We meet every single Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get together with a group of highly intelligent and passionate friends that show up, and we share motivational quotes either created by someone on our panel or someone in the world, in the universe, and we basically give our perspectives and interpretation on how the quote lands with us. Today, we're going to do a special addition to the quote. So I'm going to bring the quote in today because we're going to do our Thanksgiving introductions, basically talk about what Thanksgiving means to us and what we're thankful for. And this conversation came about, or this quote came about the morning after I had a conversation with a friend that is a perpetual procrastinationer, if I said that right. She basically lives in a lane where fear is present and where she does not acknowledge her fears and seems to be standing in her own way. And so the following morning after visiting and seeing this person in New York, I wrote down, think less, live more. In the conversation I had with her, I said, thinking too much does not always get things done. Sometimes overthinking slows down the process. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. If it feels right for you, then go for it. It's okay not to have all the answers. So, part of the reason that I wrote that down in the advice I gave her is because if you look at people that say, I'm going to write a book, people that say what I'm going to do tomorrow, people that say when I get time, this is what I'm going to do. And when we have those people that basically says, one day, one day. And a lot of times, the reason why a lot of good things don't happen to us is because we're not open to allowing the world to bring us these gifts. We overthink and we start to put obstacles in our way that don't even exist. And that's the reason why their acronym fear is the feelings of events appearing to be well. And sometimes we go out and try, and then all of a sudden we put the brakes on when things start to get too good. Again, overthinking the process instead of letting it happen. The reason why a wave comes into the shore and comes out again, because it wants to create another wave. And life is like that. Life comes in, life goes out. Things happen. We live, we die. We have good experiences, we have bad experiences. And sometimes we hang on to things and it allows us to pull us down, pull us backwards. And instead of taking the right foot and putting it in front of your left and moving forward, we remain stagnant. So let's go with think less, live more. Colin.
Yeah. Two things pop out to me. One of them being analysis paralysis, which you kind of summed up. I just kind of summed it up in a couple words, but that fear of action, like you're just frozen, you're paralyzed from the fear of thinking, of the overthinking. And then our guy, Grant Cardone, well, I'm sure you guys are familiar with 10X rule. Do it, do it now. Like that's, do new problems, you want massive action. And that's really the secret sauce is, yeah, it's good to have a plan. Yeah, it's cool to have things kind of figured out, but you just got to go with that first step and go with it. And sometimes you just have to step out on faith. It is Sunday. We talk a lot about faith in the church, but you got to have faith in your ideas. You got to have faith in yourself. You got to have the faith that you're going to see it through. And yeah, that's how you combat that. That's how you overcome. And that's why we're here. you know, because we don't let that stop us. We go when a lot of our peers, a lot of people around us might not. They might pause, and we move.
You're exactly right. And Grant Cardone, 10X Rule, for those that are listening, it's a must read book. You know, doing things 10 times better makes everything a lot easier. You know, you get knocked down once, you get up. Get knocked down twice, you get up again. My grandfather says, you get down nine times, don't just lay there. He says, get up and just keep getting up.
Yep.
Keep getting up.
Denzel said, get knocked down 7, get up 8.
There you go. Naeem. All right. So Naeem.
Yes, sir.
We just heard the share from Brother Collins.
Yes, I did.
So how does that land on you? Think less, live more.
Think wise, live more. Making better choices, time management, you know, not wasting time with thoughts and ideas when you got to learn to trust your gut. Your gut will give you the answer. If you don't trust your gut, that means you have not stored yourself with the necessary information. So you did not listen, or as we like to say, you did not do the knowledge. You did not observe and learn from those that were giving you information and talking to you about things that are important. You were missing. You were looking for the grass being greener when it was green in your face. Wow. I'm talking to myself, but I'm sharing with you all.
Live more.
Give me the quote one more time, because there was another thought.
Eat less, live more.
Eat less, live more.
No, think.
Yeah. No, but that was okay. Yeah. It's all there. Come on now. Eat less, think more.
Thanksgiving's
gluttony is everything.
Up.
Gluttony is everything. We could want righteousness and good things and want it in a glut for more, if that's even a word. And I can't help it, but y'all know what I mean. Yeah, I'm funny too sometimes. I make myself laugh. Yeah. You know, because consuming too much makes you fat. And people think fat is pretty, and that's why they put a pH versus an F on it. And we all know what the F means. And the pH is an illusion, just like everything else in life. You know, I heard something today that said we do not deserve it, but you keep trying because there's victory in the struggle.
Boy, that sounds like something Dr. King would have said.
That sounds like something. Well, Derek Bell said it in his book, Faces at the Bottom of the Well. I'm a slow reader, but I do get to it. And he said that he asked that a woman in Mississippi Delta, he said, why do you keep on, you know, she's in the civil rights movement. Why do you keep doing this? Why are you still doing this struggle if you know that we know the outcome, right? We know the outcome, just like when we march down the street for Black Lives Matter, when we, you know, all these things that we've done, we know the outcome, but there's victory in the struggle. As long as you get up every morning, as long as you say, I know that I'm not going to get it, but I'm going to keep trying, that means they have not defeated you. Amen. They have not defeated you. And you do not walk around this world feeling defeated, because defeat is what is the poison. And it's been the thing that has canceled us. So when you think about food, think about good foods, because there's bad food out there. You know, fast food hurts you, just like fast information and fast reaction. And, you know, being impulsive is not good. So I go back to that word I used earlier, or that phrase I used earlier, doing the knowledge. That means to observe and know about all things in existence. It's the foundation upon which we build. So when we sit back and we observe, we're being patient. If you ever watch Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, when he got trapped, the first thing he did was sit down and meditate. He didn't bang on, let me out. Ah! No, he just went. So when I think about meditating, I think about prayer. And prayer does not mean close your eyes and get on your knees either. Prayer means constant conversation with God.
Yeah.
Whichever way you want to have it. And there's many people that want to control, you know, there's a word I'm looking for, control the
narrative.
Thank you very much. Control the narrative by telling you how you need to do things. That's just another way of somebody else controlling you. You know, if you don't go to church, you're going to die. No, God is with me, and church is where God is, and God is in my heart. So therefore, my body is a walking church. But I do like to fellowship. So if I do go to church, it's because I want to fellowship. If I go my fraternity, it's because I want to fellowship. If I'm doing this right now with you all, it's because I want to fellowship. Get me off this soapbox. Today is Sunday, and I'm feeling the spirit.
All right, we love it, and he did that without a script. Look at that.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the best way to perform.
There you
Improv.
go. There you go. There you
Hey,
go.
I'm gonna say that. I'm writing everything y'all say down, by the way.
Hey, as my grandfather always said, he says, make notes, take notes. So I do that every single day. So Samantha, think less, live more. How does that land with you?
You know, we could be our own worst enemy. Our thoughts can get in our way of our victory. So absolutely, living in the present moment really means putting aside our thoughts and doing what needs to be done, and not letting our past get in the way. And I think my internet just froze on me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good. All right. So thinking less and doing, you know, just doing more, just getting up and just doing it, and not letting our own thinking get in the way of what we need to be doing every single day. And I love Mahim when he said, eat less and do more. But, you know, this
You're
is
fat and lazy.
right. So I think maybe all of us can practice that at times, but that does really go into that word of gluttony. And, you know, when we're thinking about eating less, we need to be consuming less negative thinking, consuming less of this commercialized between you know, fast food, or, you know, buying just enormous amounts of things for Christmas and during the holiday at the retail stores, whatever it may be, consuming less alcohol, consuming, you know, less TV, consuming, you know, less of these things that really don't serve us and can really stop us from living our true self and our dreams. So it's all bringing that stuff into a balance. What are we doing every single day? Who are we serving every single day? And that's really what it's about. You know, going into the theme of Thanksgiving, I know the true story, and a lot of people do know the true history of Thanksgiving. But again, we need to put aside now the past, not ignore it. I acknowledge what has happened, and it wasn't the most positive thing, but what can we do today to make it better? How can we change the meaning of Thanksgiving and the tradition of Thanksgiving to fit our lives today? And that really goes into think less and do more. If we're thinking about the past, or we're thinking about the future, not living in the present moment, we can never change our future. Because as long as we're thinking about the past, we keep reliving the past. So we really need to be staying in the present moment and make it to where it fit our lives today. Thanksgiving to me is more than just, you know, being grateful. It really should be, at least for me, a sense of community. It's about friends as well as family. It really is about bringing in the newer generations and the newer thinking, the newer ideas to create a better tomorrow. So Thanksgiving for me is creating a better tomorrow and not bringing in the past to relive it in the future. So thank you.
Samantha, you got a quote. As long as we keep thinking of the past, there was another part, and my secretarial skills are slow. You said as long as we
keep thinking about the past. Oh boy, I can't remember exactly what I said. I was just going right off the top
it's
of my head.
recorded.
But if we're thinking about the past, perfect. Kevin, can you edit that out?
No, because it was fast, and it activated, it triggered a lot of thoughts. So I wanted the quote because the quote was beautiful. And not only that, it would these quotes I will be using with students in tableaus which are physical pictures. So to see them create something based on your quote, I want to make sure I got it right because it was beautiful. So if you think about it, stop the world and remind me, because there was the second part to that, and I wanted to make sure I have it accurate.
All right. And Sam, just for the record, one of the conversations that we had at RMK Production is that we're not going to try to make perfect media. I mean, we spend way too much time in this universe trying to do the perfect presentation. We're human. Things happen. We slur our words. We say way too many times, and we get criticized for it. We don't always sit up in our seats and so forth. So in order to change the narrative, we've got to redirect the direction of what we do every day to our own truths. We're not perfect, and things don't always work out the way they're planned. That's the reason why think less, live more happens to be very present, especially with this time of the year. And I hope our listeners are making notes and taking notes to realize you don't have to get it right. You just have to do something. And if it feels good to you, it's fine. You don't have to have the perfect mate. Don't have to be short, tall, or whatever case may be. You don't always have to take out the garbage the way that your spouse wants you to. You don't have to arrange the dishes the way your spouse wants you to. You don't always have to be quiet during the football game. You can ask the question. All right. If you ever been to a Black movie theater, you don't have to ask, why are we talking in the movie? We know the monster's coming.
Or the theater.
Or the theater.
or live theater. I've seen it live theater. Yep. Sound like church.
Yeah. The whole thing is, we got to relax a little bit more. We got to keep things simple. Okay. And we've got to embrace that we're not perfect. And sometimes we make mistakes. We live in this world where it's just easier because of social media, just to say, let it get a group of people and shut them down, because now we got the cancel culture. And, I say this all the time, education is not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make you think. And sometimes we don't want to know the truth. I mean, Sam, you said it very eloquently, is that, Thanksgiving for some of us is an event that we celebrate. And we acknowledge that, there was a person that traveled across, the seas, came to a new world, and ignored that the world that he discovered was already inhabited by another group of people. We ignore the fact that they dominated, manipulated, and stole a land from a group of people that were free, and they systematically bragged about it, and they made slaves of these people, robbed them, raped them, and so forth. And they called it Thanksgiving. Depends on who's giving and who's being thankful. It defines that. But we all have to live in our own space, and we all have to live in our own truth, and we have to keep it simple. So I think less, live more means that we need to celebrate the events that we have control over. That means hug your kids more. Don't take the little tiff that you had the night before with your better half to heart and carry it over for the next couple of days. Take a suture, mend the wound, allow it to heal, and grow from there. Ask yourself why you can throw a handful of seeds in the middle of a highway and one seed finds that one crack and grows.
All right.
Ask yourself why. So, this is another episode of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. We're going to end, but we're not going to end. I'm going to ask everyone that listens, that tunes in every single Sunday, to share it, go to our YouTube page, RMK Productions and Friends, follow and subscribe. We've got a lot of good things coming. We have a college ambassador program where we have college students that are now entering the world of podcasts. We market to a range from 18 to 72. So basically our audience is anyone that breathes. We have conversations that are comfortable. So we have conversations that entertain. We do a little bit of everything. We're going to have cooking shows coming up on RMK Productions. But this time of year, it is Thanksgiving. So Colin, I'm going to ask this question, is that what does Thanksgiving mean to you? And what are you thankful for?
Well, I'm thankful for all of you guys here today.
Amen.
Thankful for RMK Productions, Kevin, just bringing us together here on this platform. Thankful for my family, of course. Thank you for God upstairs, and just thankful for, having, being in my right mind and body, and I don't take things for granted. There's a lot of people out here that wish they were where we are, right? Even do this. So, don't take that for granted. Thankful for, just being able to get up every day like it's a new day, like it is, and see it for what it is, and just go for the gusto. So that's mine.
And I'm going to wish you.
Collins, you're my new best friend.
All right. Naheem Garcia, thespian. Thanksgiving, and what are you thankful for?
Well, Kevin, thank you for acknowledging the fact that Thanksgiving, that there was a broken deal. It was a trick, and it deceived a group of people, and it robbed a group of people, and it wasn't just them. It became something that was used for all of us on all levels, because if you go through every culture, there's always the evil person doing something to the righteous. Breaking bread has a double meaning. Biblically, coming together, being joyful, breaking bread, sharing with your fellow brother and sister, and also breaking a deal, breaking your word. We know what happened to our Native American brothers and sisters. We know what happened to the African American. We know what happened to the Jews. We know what happened to the Catholics. We know what happened to the Irish, the Chinese. We know these stories. We've heard them all, yet we think they're all different. Because as long as we think they're different, they divide us. As long as they divide us, they control us. And we will never unite if we don't see that we all have the same story. Some of us are a little more severe than others, because like they say, equality means to be equal, but some are a little more equal than others. That's real. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful that I could be here with like minds and say, I love you and I don't know you, and thank you for being in my life, and thank you for sharing something that just inspired me. Thank you for giving me something to say hello to. Thank you for giving me a reason to say I am and I will be. Thank you. And I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for hard times. Let's talk about that. I'm thankful for some hard times, because if it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is. So I'm thankful for some hard times. I'm thankful for suffering, but I'm also thankful for the glory and the beauty of life and goodwill. And more than that, I'm thankful that I got a chance to share with my good friend Kevin his celebration of his book and his awards. I'm glad that I get to meet Samantha and Collins. And I'm glad that I could live to be angry, happy, and a chance to fix things and make some wrongs right. I'm just glad, and I'm very thankful to be able to have a moment. I haven't got up on a Sunday morning to do anything like this in years, and I'm a preacher's kid. Both parents, uncles and aunts. So, but I also learned that God and I have our own relationship, and I don't necessarily need to have other people involved for he and I to have a bond and a lesson. So I'm thankful for many things, and I could go on and on and on and on and on, but because I'm full of it. And I don't mean a bad thing. I'm real full of some joy, and I'm full of knowledge, I'm full of energy, and I'm full of your love and your energy. I don't know why. I don't know y'all. And it ain't none of your business why I like you. It's my business. But I like y'all, man, and I hope we keep in contact, and I hope we continue to not just talk on Sundays, but every now and then check in with each other. So I'm going to put my number in the chat. And if anybody else gets it, and if you a good person, call me. If you one of those sickles, don't worry about it. We'll deal with that too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You don't think God got his soldiers and his warriors and his bodyguards? He sure do. Gabriel wasn't the only one. All of us have that in us too. We have to protect love. We have to protect each other. We have
All right. Thank you, Brother Garcia. Naeem. Sam, I know you gave yours a little bit earlier. We're going to let you close, and I'll say goodbye to everyone soon. Go ahead. What are you thankful for, and what is Thanksgiving?
Wonderful. Absolutely. And hopefully my internet doesn't cut out. I'm having a little bit of problems with it. You know, I could say that I'm grateful for so many things in my life. But I think the number one thing that I'm really grateful for is the opportunity that presents me every day when I wake up in really choosing how I'm going to live that moment, despite what may have happened in the past, despite my current circumstances or my environment or what it may be at any given point in time. I still can make that day whatever I choose for it to be. Our true prison really does live in our mind. And once we free our mind and we
And
single day, then that's really the true freedom. And we have that gift to live every single day. So that's what I'm grateful for.
you know something, you guys, every single Sunday, I am moved. I'm moved to a space in my mind that I can carry the burden of the world because of listening to the conversations of such good people that comes together every Sunday to motivate and inspire not just each other, but to the world. And I'm going to say this as one partner of RMK Productions and the 10 United Network. I am very thankful for the opportunity to be able to create a platform that people that look like me can be showcased in our talent, and that we can provide an avenue for people that would not have a voice, would not have a vehicle to allow their content to exist. I'm thankful for my family, RMK Productions, for creating an avenue that we can travel without obstacles being placed in our way. So Marjorie, Raymond, my son Theo, Mac, RMK Productions, my team, Kaisha, Crystal, Malik, and Karina, part of our RMK production family, and Aaron to come, and Sam to come, Naheem to come, to be part of this. We're thankful. I am very thankful for the many people that allowed us to share their story from RMK Productions. But most of all, I am thankful for every Sunday at 2:00 being able to have conversations with my family. Because a lot of times, because life separates us, but God brings us back together. So because of my faith, I am now whole. I am blessed with beautiful children that inspire me, that motivate me, encourage me, correct me at times, and basically make me laugh. I am very grateful for that opportunity. To my listeners, I want to say this Thanksgiving, okay? Thanksgiving to me, the meaning has very little to do with what we've been taught in grade school, high school, and in life itself. The meaning of Thanksgiving is to be able to say thank you to the people that are present in my life, that give without return on the investment, and that I give to them unselfishly without looking for return. To find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone is something that's attached to my heart. It's my permanent tattoo, which is I created a hashtag. So with that said, I'll say to everyone listening to this is that smile, keep things simple. You don't have to take ownership of everyone else's problems, and just live. And this is Kevin McLemore wishing everyone a very happy holiday, and be thankful for your ability to give. We'll fade to black. So that's it. What do you guys think? Thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Garcia, you almost made me cry about the award thing. You know, I'm still, and I'm going to tell you, when I wrote Sprinkles and it first got published, I said, one day I'm going to be standing on stage with a group of people and we're going to receive an Oscar.
Mm,
And
why not?
but I'm
Give
looking
me-
far. I'm looking far beyond that, because we're in a position now, because of COVID, that we don't have to wait for the Academy to recognize our work, that we need to get together as people of color, be it Black, Chinese, Hispanic, or whatever, and create our own platform to recognize talent, hard work, without bias or prejudice.
The global award, the global world awards.
Hey, you just put it out there. God's gonna make it happen.
Why not?
I'm actually hoping that between RMK Productions, between Naheem, Sam, Bruce, Colin, Marjorie, Raymond, Theo, Mac, that we create a platform that will bring the Denzels, the Tyler Perrys, to say,
we want in.
yeah,
We want in.
come to art award ceremonies, because we're going to represent the real talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have to get Bill Iger, I think that's his name, to do a Black Panther, because we can do it all day long. We are the Black Panthers. So
we are the Black Panthers. That's right.
yeah, it's coming, and our women are our warriors, and we're the protectors.
It was interesting that party picked that name back then, even though during that same time they did create the story of Black Panther, but I don't know if it was that conscious. It's just interesting that they picked that name, you know, because Black Panther historically, and this was created in the 60s, and the story of this place in Africa, and the founders of that story didn't look like you and I, and if they did, somebody stole it.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Now I didn't stop to make that connection until just now, that the Panther Party, which we're not, but the Panther Party picked up the name Panther when Black Panther was a superhero.
Yep, you're right. You do know that, and I'm gonna say this. There's no such thing as an original idea.
Nope.
Unless someone acts on it. That's what makes it original. A lot of other things, if you look at the way this country is built and the way it was made, is that it was on the back of a group of very kind and creative people, and they were taken advantage of, and they looked just like us. You know, we had agricultural in the South, and up north we had textile. All right, you look at many of the things that we take for granted were created by us. You know,
I go back to the slave that created the rake.
Yeah,
and the master took the credit for the invention.
You're exactly right. You look at blood plasma. You know, the man, Dr. Drew, created it, and guess how he died? He couldn't get a transfusion for something he created himself.
Isn't that something? Vivian Green,
Yeah.
first heart transplant.
Yeah.
And no credit, not even an acknowledgement, until years later they made a movie that got tucked away, and nobody, still to this very day, he's not celebrated during Black History Month, at least.
Yeah, and that's
And
another
my favorite.
That's another thing. We need to stop celebrating Black History Month, because for me, I'm Black all year round.
Yeah, right. That's just like, again, and like, you know, these experiences, you know, the Black experience, you know, like that's something separate from American history.
Yeah.
American history is everything that's been happening in this country since it existed.
Yeah.
Whether it be Black, the Asians, the Chinese, the Irish, everybody has a history and a story of this country and in this country. You know, I'm looking at, you know, how these classes are being created to have a conversation about, you know, in so many words, Black Lives Matter. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you think Black lives didn't matter to white people, then why do you think they're going through this extreme to make sure it matters to you?
Right.
How are you supposed to matter to you when somebody else tells you you're supposed to matter?
Yeah.
Again, it's control. Somebody's controlling your narrative. Somebody's letting you know. When they said Black Lives Matter, you had to go out there and say it. Somebody's telling you and gave you permission to go out there and say, because Black lives should matter every moment of your existence.
Yep.
Every moment.
And that's the reason why we as leaders and our families and our community, we got to be part of that spoken word, and our actions have to support our words. And you know, we can shout and protest all we want, but we're screaming from the cheap seats. Until we get a seat at the table, that's the only way we're going to be heard. You know, until we understand how commerce works and how we need to support each other, that's the only way we're going to be heard. Until we get together collectively in order to refuse to support a group of people or companies that oppress us for profit, we're never going to be heard. But that day's
Wow,
coming.
Kev.
That day coming.
Kev, the best quote of the day, baby.
Yep.
We're yelling from the cheap seats.
Yep. And one day,
I haven't heard that one.
yeah.
Woo!
And
I haven't
one
heard
day,
that one. Kevin
watch this.
McAvoy.
Watch this. One day, we're going to go 30 days and stop buying product. 30 days and stop buying product or consuming product from people that vote against our freedom every 4 years. And watch what happens when we get the attention of someone when they realize that they struggle making their Mercedes payment. They struggle from going to that trip. 30 days, because we're an $80 billion commodity. And as someone said, that Black people, they like shiny things and we're consumers. But wait till they find out that people like us are going to teach them how to be professional business people and prosper. Once they realize that we're going to put the money back into our own community, things will change.
I believe Douglas Turner Ward said it best in Day of Absence, you know, by demonstrating the one day when not one Black person was available to clean the toilets, change the baby, feed the master, answer the phone, open the door, drive the trash. The day they were all gone and you don't know where they went and why. And then the half original people that were passing as white disappeared too. And they started to notice that not only all the Blacks are gone, but all the Blacks are gone. And how much of you is left in this planet when all the Blacks are gone? If you're even left here to acknowledge that much. Because if you think about it, and Black is the origin of all, if we go, it all goes.
Yep. And that's the reason why I said 30 days. One day is like a pimple in the economy, because you know what's going to happen. It's like an infection. You pop it, it swells up, it leaves a black market, it grows. 30 days makes an impression on
the world will change.
The world will change. And that's the reason why when we get smart enough to realize that, you know, the reason why we're having these conversations in these elections or whatever, because it's a distraction. The reason why we're having the cancel culture conversation, it's a distraction. And the reason why we're marching in the streets, it's a distraction from the actual fact that
racism being color,
yep,
is the distraction. When you have that same situation with look at the caste system, that is racism at its best.
Yep.
Internally.
Yep. But we now have the power. We just got to have the intellects, the mental fortitude to say that we don't need them. Okay. Coca-Cola, you know, we've been brainwashed to buy them. When they put together a system that says, look, we're going to be able to control you for the rest of your life, we need to stop bringing Coca-Cola to the table.
Just because they got money.
Yep. But we got money, $80 billion. We're the consumer. We take $80 billion out of the economy, people start to notice.
Yeah, people stop paying attention.
Okay. And then things will change. And the
only way $80 million, yeah.
And the only way you're going to get people to change is they have an impact on their present situation. And I'll leave it on that note.
No, that's a good note to leave on. Beloved brother, as I say all the time, you know, you're a great man. I'm glad to have met you and glad to meet you and glad to be with you. And thank you for inviting me to these beautiful devotions. You know, as a preacher's kid, is that part of me that desires, even though I'm a man of Islam, I still desire fellowshipping on a Sunday with brothers and sisters and listening to the gospel. You know, I still have that desire because good truth is all truth. And So thank you for this truth.
And thank you. All right.
All right.
So I will chat with you later. I'll talk to you later, brother.
You will. You will. I might surprise you this week.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that surprise.
I know. But be patient with your brother. He's coming.
I am. Talk to you
All
later.
right.
All right,
Peace.
bye-bye.